Trapping plays a very important role in modern-day wildlife management. Professional wildlife biologists monitor fur-bearer populations to maintain a healthy and sustainable harvest of this important, renewable natural resource. Trapping provides recreation and income for licensed trappers across this country. Hoosier Trapper Outdoors is brought to you by Hoosier Trapper Supply. J3 Outdoors, manufacturer of the Hags Bracket and Body Trap Spring Clip. Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scents. Wiebe Knives and Fur Handling Tools. HTS Productions. Hoosier Trapper Deer Scents. And Leatherwood Wildlife Art.
Okay, thanks for joining us for this episode 10 of Hoosier Trapper Outdoors Season 6. On this episode, we'll be up in Michigan on our final day checking traps up there with Trent Masterson. Our episode 11 will be changing gears, changing geography. Be heading to South Dakota on the snare line with Mark Steck up there fighting the snow. Just completely different than what we've ever done in the past. So it was a lot of fun up there filming it, and I think you'll enjoy it too. Then we'll round out the season of Hoosier Trapper Outdoors in New Mexico on the high desert trapping with our friend Trapper Adrian. I want to thank everybody for the views. I want to thank the new subscribers and welcome you to the show. I sure appreciate it. And I want you to be sure to check out our Fur Shed series. We just put another one up this week, so you can check that one out. And that one is about making a fleshing beam, making basically a commercial level fleshing beam that anybody can make. Very inexpensively. It's just something you have to do. But anyways, you might check that out too. Hope you enjoy the episode. Another beautiful day in fall day in Michigan, and pulling traps as we said, and third check day. Garrett's with us again today.
Garrett's bringing us good luck today.
We got a coon in a blind set here in this pipe you guys probably can't see, but we're wrapping up today. It was a short trip, but it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Good time. That's what it's really all about, you know.
Yeah.
We're not long lining. We're just trying to show a bunch of different kinds of sets and show a variety of things instead of really covering a bunch of ground doing the same thing over and over. So hopefully show you guys some unique, different sets that you can use on your line to help you catch some more fur.
And with that said, these were the quick tunnel type sets that Don Powell idea with the tie plates and leaned up against here. This coon actually got in both of them.
Yeah, so he didn't go up in that pipe, which we were a little concerned about. That's why we got the potato rake, make sure he doesn't take off on us.
So. And as I've mentioned in the past, whenever you set a coon trap, try to have some place where he's not just going to go in a hole and you can't hardly get him out. So
yeah,
think of what's where he's going once he's caught. So, anyways, take care of this coon and move on down the road and
see what we got today.
All right, Trent punched in a little blind set on the side of this hut. Well, a little feed bed, basically. Not really using this hut too much.
It's just a big old feed bed.
Yeah, basically. You can see the fresh cuttings were on this side here. We had a number 1.5 down here on some clips. It wasn't really producing, so we just saw this, pulled them up, brought them down. You can see it worked perfect. He's right there.
Cool.
One more in front. Let me make sure there's nothing in that one.
Anything on it?
Yep, we got a double here.
Awesome.
Perfect. We had it staked out deep. Back leg catch. Went to the deep end, drowned. Perfect situation. Doubled up on this little feed bed hut deal. Pretty cool.
Yep, very cool. Wise move from the corner to here.
Yes.
Okay, we're in a little small marsh here right on the side of the road, and we got a hut behind us in a run. The water's kind of receding in here. We got a colony trap in this run, and you can see from the bubbles that obviously there's a rat in this colony here. There we go.
There he is.
Boom! Musquash!
That's what I'm talking about.
Hags Trapping Products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
Cage biting musquash. Right on these fiberglass poles, another option, it's a new option, it's made by Jeff Haggerty. The Hags bracket just slides on the pole. It's got 2 slots on there, and then the back T part of the frame just sticks in that slot, just like that, and then you got your trap attached there. So you can put your bait clip up here, or you can do like what we were doing, and you actually have like what they call a top edge set up against a bridge abutment, just like that, just down just a hair lower where the water would flow over it. So anything swimming or hugging that edge, that trap will catch it. As Trent was saying, he always has his pans up higher, that way they're not swimming over, they can hit that pan. So very, very simple. You can put a lot of these out in a matter of just a few hours. So just kind of a great, efficient, fast, effective setup. What we got, Charlie? All right, this is the third night in a row, third muskrat. It's kind of that, almost like a bottom edge setup against this concrete slab by this fishing deck here. And we got another rat. We're pulling traps, so we need to keep it here a little bit longer. We really should have put a colony in there and just caught them all in 1 or 2 nights. But anyways, it's kind of cool using the Hags bracket spring clip. Dead musquash.
Okay, this is really the importance of new sets. We've been setting this ditch to the north and to the south, and we've pretty much cleaned all the rats out. The water's really clear now. And yesterday we actually shuffled some traps and put new sets in. These are really some of the only few new sets we put in yesterday. And let us look in here. I kind of took a peek and I could see there was at least 1 rat in these, but we piled these traps up. I think we got 3 8s and 2 6s, or 3 6s and 3 8s here to block this whole ditch. And we got 1 rat there. That might be it. A lot of traps for just 1 rat, but the idea here is, I take that back, we got a double. So 2 traps, but at least we're picking them off. I think we're really running out of rats here. Got 1. Got 2.
Double. Rolling?
Yep.
All right. This is actually where we're finishing up the whole trip, and this is where we began when we first got here a few days ago. And we weren't fully prepared. We forgot some bait for situations like this for this pocket set. We punched in here, so we figured, hey, top dog predator bait works for canines, works for any predator really. Bobcats, doesn't matter. Mink is just a miniature predator. Took him 2 nights and he came through in a number 11.
That's awesome. So we basically just took a little top dog, smeared it on some wool, and stuck it up in the pocket.
Yep, that's it. Not gonna reset. We're pulling. We didn't have just a window weight here, and he didn't go anywhere with it. Not even a foot from outside the bed.
She actually.
Or she, yeah, a little female mink here.
Very cool. Like you said, this was the starting point and this is the ending point for an awesome quick trip.
Quick trip was great. Good time in Michigan. Hopefully we can come back and do it all again. Last trap of the whole deal with a mink. The aftermath of pulling traps can get quite crazy. Traps everywhere, Charlie.
Yeah, this is, and you know, we learned if you are somewhat organized when you're pulling traps and take just a little extra time, it makes it a lot easier when you get home. And this may not look that organized, but believe me, it
could be worse.
It could be a lot worse. I can attest to that after. All right, end of the line. It's been a good time. It's been a great time, thanks to Trent and property we're on. All loaded up, freezer, trucks full. For some reason, it's more full, more unorganized. We're just throwing stuff in there.
It seemed like we left with a lot more stuff than what we came down here with. So.
If we ended up with any of Trent's equipment, we'll have to get later and swap stuff out. If we did, it's not much. So.
No big deal.
But anyways. Great time.
Fun.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun.
Finally got together and did
Yeah.
this.
What did we end up catching, Charlie? Totals today?
Today was 19 rats today and
Something like that.
1 mink, coon. Was that it?
Yeah, I think there was it. Yep. Coon, mink. Yeah, so we caught a mink every day, which is pretty good. We're 100% on mink every day. We caught at least 2 one day.
Yeah.
And 4 total on the mink.
Yep. Which is pretty good, with not having any cold fronts. I mean, we didn't even have a front come through while we were here. We had pretty much consistent sunny weather, some windy, some calm, and I think the farms are, well, like we say in the clips, the farms that we were on, the drought we had this summer really affected the populations of the farms. I mean, I think even the farmers kind of realized it, when we were going through. And by the time we caught a few rats out of every ditch, the water cleared up and. You could just tell there weren't any rats more. There wasn't any more rats to catch.
Right.
Make those farmers real happy.
Yeah.
That's really what they want, is they want those rats gone. And
Right.
they can do their job. So.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yep.
Great time. Appreciate it, Trent.
Thanks a lot.
We'll do it again.
Yep.
Been
We'll
good.
do it again.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've been a professional trapper for over 40 years, and in that time, I've skinned literally thousands of animals. I've learned that it doesn't matter how cool a knife looks on your hip. What really matters is sharpness and reliability. And that's why I created the Wiebe Wicked Sharp line of replacement blade knives. These are knives that will quickly skin your critters without skinning your wallet. Visit WiebeKnives.com to get the new Monarch folding knife with 3 replacement blades for just $19.95. Wiebe Knives, Wicked Sharp.
All right, we had a question this week that a fella emailed in, and he was a new trapper, and this is only going to basically apply to new trappers, but he was catching non-targets, rabbits, and that kind of thing, and just kind of discouraged and wondering what he was doing wrong. And without even asking him, I pretty much had an idea what was up, and he was setting in the cover. This was for fox and coyote trapping. He was setting in the cover. In other words, not setting in the open or in the field edge. So he was dealing with catches that typically most of us wouldn't deal with. So I told him, I said, move 5 yards out into the field or so, get your sets out in the open, get away from that cover, and then he had some issues too with some small animal catches, and get your pan tension tightened up. He had no pan tension on his traps at all. So just kind of a basic, point to make, but albeit important if you're just starting out trapping. So it's just one of those things to bear in mind when you're starting out. Typically, you want to keep your traps along the cover edge, but in the open in the field. All right. Another question we get a lot this time of year, and in general, but and it's kind of a tip too. Deer season's winding down, so a lot of people are switching gears and they're going to trap for the rest of the winter for something to do, obviously for recreation, a little bit of income, that kind of thing. So you're in the, like I said, here it is in December already, early December. You come in, you buy new traps, it's like, well, as far as dyeing and waxing and taking care of them, it'll delay you considerably if you, get the oil off, rust them, dye them, and then wax them. So what we recommend, and we do it all the time, it works very, very well, is get the oil off your traps. And you can run them through a dishwasher. You can just wash them in good hot soapy water with Dawn dish soap, and then rinse them in hot water. But you're going to need to get that machine oil off. Get your wax ready. Get your wax melted down in a separate container. Solid wax only. Take that trap, albeit it's shiny, whatever. Dip it in the wax, leave it in there long enough for it to take on the same temperature as the wax like you always would. So you pull your trap about a minute. The wax is basically at a simmer. Pull the trap out. The trap should look just wet. If the trap looks like it's got milky, cloudy wax on it, or the wax is globbed up uneven, then the trap is just not hot enough. So it needs to go back in the wax. Like I said, leave it in there about a minute or so. Pull the trap out. Let it drip off. Like I said, it should just look wet, and it'll cure, and you're good to go in an hour or so. And then over the course of the season, using it or whatever, it'll pick up some rust, and the wax will get worn off, particularly if you catch critters. And then you can back up, dye, wax, and be ready to go for the following year. There's nothing wrong with just power washing your traps too. If you're in the middle of the season and you need clean traps, power wash them all and get them all cleaned up, wax, and go, and then bypass that dye step. You cover your trap up, so the color of that trap is just not that important. So wax by far is the most important part of trap treatment. Seals the smell of the trap in, makes the trap faster, and also adds a considerable rust protection to the trap, so to keep the trap functioning. So anyway, it's just kind of a question we get a lot, and also a tip for this time of year for trap preparation. Okay, for this product highlight, talk about our Coyote Carnage lure. And a guy called me the other day, and what kind of sparked this product highlight was the guy in Kentucky, and he goes, you guys just don't talk enough about that Coyote Carnage. He goes, I've just done incredibly well with it. I'm only using that and a couple other lures, and it by far is just performing better than anything I'm using. And you guys it's kind of under the radar. And we do talk about it some, but Justin and I have done a little bit of trapping this fall so far, just here around home before work. We've both been using it, and it's been it produces very well, and it's been certainly stood the test of time, but it's, like I said, it's kind of under the radar. So it's an excellent lure for relatively mild to cold weather. If it gets very cold, 10 degrees or below, I would probably go with something a little bit stronger in smell. But here in central Indiana, it's still mild. Certainly in Kentucky and further south, it's they have much milder winters, so very appropriate down there for the entire season. It's also good for remake sets. So if you've caught something, say using a long distance or something that's a little bit stronger in smell, you can use the Carnage as a remake lure. It has no part of animal gland in it in terms of fox or coyote glands in it. So the set already smells like that animal, and then you're going to throw something completely different in there in your remake, so it's excellent for that. In that case, it doesn't matter if it's 10 below zero. So anyways, it's like I said, it's just something I want to remind everyone that we have this one. It's an excellent lure and produces very well. And to be honest, I don't know of any other lure on the market that's like that. Smelled a lot of lures, and I don't know of anybody that makes one that's similar to this. There's a lot of lures that you smell, gland lures and some of the curiosity lures, and you can find similarities from brand to brand to brand. But in some lures, not all, but some. And then, but this one right here, completely different, completely unique from what else is out there. So, anyways, Coyote Carnage, it's available in 1 ounce or 4 ounce.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. We have the new Hoosier Trapper Supply catalogs. Go ahead and visit us online at HoosierTrapperSupply.com and request one there, or you can just phone us here at the shop and we'll be glad to get you one. And if you're online, go ahead and register with us and we'll get you a newsletter, and that will have anything from trapping updates that are going on with us here at the shop as far as products, show updates. Every now and then Charlie's blog has a link on there. So, and we're going to be running product specials as well through there. So make sure you get online, sign up for that newsletter, and register with us. Also, I want to bring everyone up to speed with kind of a side project we've been doing. It's called the Fur Shed series, and it runs year-round. We're going to keep it rolling. There's no set date or time when these things come out. Anytime we feel like there's a trick or a tip or something that could help someone out, we'll go ahead and upload that right here on YouTube, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And basically what that show's about is the fur shed. Anything inside or around that, as far as fur handling, the trap prep, modifications, things that aren't necessarily dealt with in the field when you're trapping, will be right there in the Fur Shed series. So make sure you follow us and keep up with that. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and talk about the social media. Follow us online. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the list goes on. Find us. We're on there. We'll see you next time.
Join us on December 22nd for the next episode of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors.